Hello. Today I will try to show that skepticism has nothing to do with progress. Let's imagine that Alice and Bob got lost in the forest. Bob proposes to go to the west and says that he believes this way they will be able to get out of the forest. Alice answers that she is skeptic and asks Bob to provide evidence that they should go to the west. Bob answers that they need to do something and asks Alice to provide evidence that they should not go to the west. Alice answers that the burden of proof lies with someone who is making a claim, and is not upon anyone else to disprove it. She says that Bob has made a claim that they should go to the west, therefore he should provide evidence for his claim. She did not claim anything, therefore she does not have to provide any evidences and has a better position. Bob says that if they stay where they are, they might die of hunger. Alice answers that Bob is uneducated and unintelligent person that does not understand philosophy and epistemology and can't win any argument. Bob asks, "So let's stay here and die of hunger just as you propose?" Alice answers that she never claimed they should stay where they are and that Bob shows his dishonesty by pretending she claimed that. And he shows his inability to have a grown-up conversation as it should happen in modern society. Bob asks, "So what do you propose to do?" Alice answers, "I do not propose anything. You claimed that we should go to the west and did not provide sufficient evidence. Because of that I'm not convinced and don't have to believe you. It's your responsibility to argue your position properly. You made a claim. I did not." Bob says, "Are you joking of me? You are driving me crazy," and accidentally breaks a big stick that somehow appeared in his hands. Alice answers, "Why are you so angry? That does not improve your position. Modern society does not accept violence as an argument." And so on. As a result they stay wherever they are and don't move anywhere. Bob is frustrated, Alice is happy, because she won an argument, whatever that means. What will happen to them next, you can try to guess yourself. I've proposed this story to show that the only thing that skepticism helps us to do is to do nothing and proposes wide range of excuses for that. There is no evidence that it's better to go to the west, but there is evidence that if you don't make any decision, you still make a decision. You make a decision to do nothing. The same way for knowledge. When you say that you are skeptical, you only mean that you are skeptical about anything that is different from your current knowledge. Not that much people are skeptical about what they think is true. Otherwise, what does it even mean that they think it's true? So what are they skeptical about? About any other knowledge, including anything new. They are not curious. Imagine some kid that refuses to study, covers own ears and says, "La la la, I don't hear you." That's how I see skepticism. The only difference is instead of la la la, skeptic says, "What is your evidence? Your position is dishonest, philosophy, epistemology, intelligence etc." Yeah, he is grown up. Result is the same, I don't listen to you, I don't claim anything and therefore I win an argument. What have ever been created by skepticism? Are startup owners skeptical about their own startups? Are artists, writers skeptical about whatever they create? Even if you are right, you still need a lot of beliefs to be able to finish whatever you are doing. Was Darwin skeptical about his own idea of evolution? He spent 20 years of his life to write that book. Is it possible to spend that much time when you are skeptical about the result? Skepticism is not about progress. Skepticism is about staying wherever you are now. I don't say that skepticism is bad. Just as I can't say that progress is something absolutely good. Progress created everything humanity has. Everything good and bad. But I just can't see how skepticism can bring any progress at all. Only beliefs can make us do that. All we need is to believe in different things. For example, one person could believe in direct current as Thomas Edison did, another person could believe in alternating current as Nikola Tesla did. And time will show which current wins. Sooner or later. I hope you are aware of that famous war or currents. You don't even have to be right for that. You just need to win the competition. Whoever wins the competition creates something that we call progress. Anyway, you cannot know which type of current is better by being skeptical. Of course you can wait and see which current wins, but you are not participating. Even worse, competition is not possible when there is one default position and any other position should be proved or approved by peer review. For example, if only one type of current was allowed by default and any other type of current had to be approved first, it's a big question: would it ever happen? Would Thomas Edison ever approve any other type of current than the one his company produces equipment for? If he had an ability to not allow alternating current, would he use such ability? Especially if he truly believed that alternating current is dangerous because it can kill people, and alternating current is dangerous and can kill people. That's just the situation we have in science. Any new idea has to be approved by those who is already in the business of proposing ideas. I mean the peer review process. Peer reviewer has to like your idea to let it exist. Otherwise he can just say no. I believe that there should be a competition of ideas instead. That we should propose models, build predictions, launch experiments, compare results. In case of Alice and Bob, it would mean that both Alice and Bob would be responsible to provide arguments, claim something. As an example, Alice could argue that rescuers will be searching for them and that is why they should stay wherever they are. Or she could just say, I don't want to go anywhere. And I believe that would be much more honest and logical than all that skepticism and modern society stuff. That's my understanding. What I don't understand is how we, humans, have managed to convince ourselves that skepticism, not moving anywhere, not trying anything, waiting for instructions from someone else has something to do with science or progress? Especially when many of those scientists are skeptics themselves. And therefore are doing their best not to be proven wrong. Doing their best to never make any wrong claims, any falsifiable claims. Doing their best to put themselves into Alice's position and never lose an argument. The funny part is it's actually scientists' job to make strong falsifiable claims and test them in experiments. It's their job to be not skeptical. But instead they search for the weakest possible claims that cannot be falsified by existing experiments and call them the ultimate reality, make them the default accepted position, whatever nonsense they consist of. As I mentioned in another video, it reminds me epicycles that were used to describe planets' motion before Kepler and Newton. You get data, you find a curve that would match the data and you put that to textbook. I will provide more details in separate video. Just one example. There was a time when scientists were discussing whether light is a wave or a particle. They were discussing that for centuries. Different scientists were proposing their arguments and experiments to prove their point. No more discussions on that matter in modern science. It is accepted that light has wave and particle properties. Shut up and calculate. Peace and silence. Everybody is skeptical. Everybody is right. Photon behaves as a wave and passes through two slits when nobody watches. Photon behaves as a particle otherwise. Explanation that explains nothing. All facts known from experiments were put together and called the law of nature. You don't agree? Try to pass our peer review then. What? Discrete machines? Are you joking? You need to see a therapist. Goodbye. I should remind you that the explanation for the double-slit experiment I propose does not include any photons passing through two slits when not watched. Link to that video is in the upper right corner now. How we've managed to convince ourselves that winning an argument is better than trying to do something? How is it possible that we've got two sets of rules? Free competition for real stuff like startups. Skepticism. Closed peer reviews for something we call science? Isn't it special pleading? Sometimes I feel myself just like Bob would feel. Frustrated and lost. Maybe something is wrong with me. What am I expected to do with that modern society thing? And it's very common situation. Millions of people truly believe that Alice is right, that she wins an argument. That she is a progressive. But the truth is that skepticism is not modern invention. Even back in Galileo Galilei's times, the Church expected Galileo Galilei to provide evidences that the Earth orbits the Sun as he claims. So our modern skeptics are at least as modern as Inquisition. Not speaking of much earlier examples. Maybe Galileo Galilei did not have real evidence, but how exactly that made him wrong? Why it should be default position that the Sun orbits the Earth? Why supporters of that model did not have to defend their position? It seems that unlike Galileo Galilei, I do have evidences for my model. I do have predictions that can be checked. I've described those predictions and the experiment in the first video on this channel. Link to that video is in the upper right corner of the screen now. If those predictions match experiment results, it will change physics enough, even without the rest of the videos. So I do have evidence. But the more I speak with skeptics, the more I understand that they do not need any evidence in principle. They just need the feeling of winning an argument. And I'm afraid evidence does not work in science as well. Thomas Kuhn described it in his book, The Structure of Scientific Revolutions. Until paradigm shift happens, scientists just ignore any evidence that disproves whatever they got used to. History of science tells that. So there are only two real options. Either you like an idea and is curious about it, or you don't like an idea and is skeptical about it. But modern society tries to limit your curiosity. You are allowed to be curious only about peer-reviewed information. They want you to be safe. As if you are disabled and can harm yourself if you do anything without their permission. And after that, with a thoughtful face, they describe you mysterious photon that simultaneously passes through two slits and interacts with itself. That's sad. You see, you can always choose to move nowhere and stay wherever you are now. It's your personal choice, what to do with your life. But our life is short. It's short even if we do not get lost in any forest. Of course you can choose to fill your life with winning an argument, being educated, intelligent, sarcastic. Make no claims, be non-disprovable and never lose an argument. Or we can try to do something real. Something like the theory of everything. Remember your childhood. You had dreams, you believed. Children are not skeptical. Yes, not all dreams come true, but how does that mean we should stop and fight with those who still naively tries to keep on moving forward? This world wasn't created by skeptics. It was created by believers. It just happens that believers turn into skeptics with time, they grow up as they say. But if somebody believes something without evidence as you think, it does not automatically makes him wrong. And does not automatically makes you right. You don't have to believe him, but world is not about you. World is about all of us together and about global evolution and progress. You cannot stop it just by saying that you are not convinced. You can delay it just as Inquisition did, but you cannot stop it. As they say, truth will find its way out. But as a skeptic, you are not participating. Thank you for your attention.